trust each other a lot, you tell each other everything. But then you start to notice that he or she has been really irritated lately and having mood swings and staying late at work, and you don't really understand what's going on, but you just figure maybe they're stressed about work, something, I don't know. But you also start to notice that your bank account has been decreasing rapidly. So you confront them about it, but they just continue to lie and continue to lie, so you don't know what's going on. Well, according to the New York State Addiction Services, those are some of the warning signs of a compulsive gambler. Other warning signs are lying and relying on others to bail them out. Irritability when you ask them to stop gambling or to cut down on it. The use of alcohol or sleeping a lot because they just don't want to deal with what's going on. Impatience with your family or friends, they just get irritated about anything and you don't know why they're irritated about it. They lose a lot of their important relationships like work and friends because they don't really care what's going on. They just want to gamble and they feel if they win that one time that they're going to win every time. So, how does this problem begin? First, I'm going to talk to you about gambling and why people become addicted and what it is. Second, what happens when it becomes an addiction and how it affects the gambler and other people involved. And last, ways to help the people that we know that are addicted. Many people gamble to escape another problem they have. Gambling isn't their first problem. A lot of them are depressed or they have problems with their family or with work and they just need an escape somehow. Like people escape to alcohol or drugs, some people escape to gambling. And it's not only going to casino, like a lot of people just think of gambling as going to a casino and playing the slot machines or something, but it can also be like betting on sports games or horse races or whatever they can do to make money or lose money. It can also be accessed online, which is a lot easier for people to hide their addiction because they don't need to go anywhere to do it. They just do it in the privacy of their own home, so it's a lot harder to tell if they are gambling. And anyone can fall into the temptation of it, but there's certain factors that make someone more at risk just by different things about them. According to the Mayo Clinic, some of the factors are age. Most people start gambling at around 14 to 21, sometimes even younger. Just depends on their personality, if they have an addictive personality. Gender is also a major factor. Men are way more likely to become addictive gamblers than women. And another factor is where you live. For example, if you live in Las Vegas, you're probably more likely to go to a casino than if you live in a small town where you have one casino in your town. According to 5-Star Gamble, a gaming site, all online casinos have to list the symptoms of a compulsive gambler, and they have an assessment test for the people that play on the site to tell if they're a compulsive gambler. And they recommend that the people that are on the site take it every 3 months or so, just to make sure they're still okay. And so as you can see, there's many different ways to gamble and why people gamble. And now that we know about gambling and who's at risk, it's time to talk about how it affects the gambler and their family and friends and coworkers and anyone that's involved in their lives. When a person is a compulsive gambler, they're not enjoyable to be around. They have mood swings. They have extreme highs and lows of emotions, and trust is not a part of their relationships. They don't trust anyone. No one trusts them. Even after someone has recovered from being a gambler, it's still hard to trust them because they've lied for so long. And the gambler is willing to lie to anyone, their wife, their husband, their kids, their boss, because they're just so sucked into the lifestyle they've created, they will lie to anyone. According to Overcoming Gambling, about 2.5 million adults are pathological gamblers, and 3 more million should be considered problem gamblers. But a lot of you probably don't know what the difference is between a compulsive gambler and a problem gambler. According to Help Guide, a nonprofit resource, there are different types of gambling. Compulsive gambling is a type of impulse control disorder, and the gambler is not in control no matter what they do. They are addicted to it. No matter how much they lose, they'll keep going back to do it. They don't care. And problem gambling is any gambling behavior that disrupts your life, like you're still in control, but it's disrupted your life in some way. And that's more like the beginning stage of a compulsive gambler. So, how can we help the people with their addiction, and how can we stop ourselves from being addicted? The best way for help is treatment. Some gamblers can help themselves and stop themselves from being addicted, but it's just like an alcoholic. Like, most can't do it on their own. They need someone to help them. And the best plan is treatment. And one form of treatment is Gamblers Anonymous. And according to Gamblers Anonymous, the first thing a gambler needs to be willing to do is accept that they have an illness and be willing to change, because if they're not willing to change, then you can't force them to change. It's ultimately their decision. The ways we can help someone we know that's addicted is to be positive. They say the worst thing to do is to be negative about it, or to remind them of ways they've hurt you in the past or ways they lied to you, because that's not going to help them in their recovery process. And we shouldn't tempt them by going to a casino, because just like an alcoholic, they're not going to go into a bar, so you can't expect a gambler to go into a casino and be okay with it. And mostly we just need to be supportive and help them through it and let them know that you're there for them. Yeah, that's it.